Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome. This reading is going to be all about whatever messages your ancestors have for you. Just before I move into that, though, I'd like to share with you a couple of things that have come through. The first of them is a symbol I was shown. Now, this symbol may or may not connect for you. I just really want to show it to you in case it has significance for somebody. I've written it down here on a bit of paper. This is how it came through first of all. Almost looks like a J with an exaggerated loop and then a line through it. And then it came through with 2 lines through it. And so it may or may not connect with someone here, but I wanted to show it in case it does. And then these, which look like and felt like years to me, 88 to 89, could be significant, and the letter V. And so that was the first thing I wanted to show. And after that, I got a little phrase through that I felt like maybe was something somebody said or had heard. It feels like it is connected to perception to me. And what that was if it looks like a demon, its name might be fear. And so I just wanted to pass those through. They may be confirmations. They may connect for somebody. They could come through in some way in this reading as part of the message. I'm not quite sure, but I felt like they wanted to be shared here at the start of this reading. And so that's what I wanted to share there. I do have these 2 beautiful decks here on the table. The first one is the Beloved Dead Oracle, which is an amazing deck for working with ancestor energy. And this one here is a tarot deck that is pretty new to me, and it's the first time I'm using it here on the channel. It is the beautiful Avian tarot. Now, this deck is really amazing because not only does it go into a lot of detail with each of the cards, but it talks about the birds themselves. And I really, really love that. And so I wanted to share this with you, and I'm really looking forward to working with these 2, especially together. So let's move into working with the cards and seeing what comes through here from your ancestors. So with the Beloved Dead, we have got the Spirit Throne card, which is a card that is like a welcome card and a card that invites your ancestors to share their messages. So we'll just put it down there. And let's begin by shuffling here. And I do want to say at this point that I'm going to add a little bit of a trigger warning here, just because as I was getting ready to move into this reading, I have been feeling a little bit sensitive and a little bit tender is probably the right word. So I'm wondering if perhaps some of you coming to the reading may also be feeling that way. And I just want to have the trigger warning there so that you always know that you can, of course, click out at any time and join us at another reading or do whatever feels right for you. So just that trigger warning there. I'm not quite sure what's going to come up here. What do your ancestors want to share here? What wants to be shared? There we go. Let's see what we have got here. Act of love, observation, backstory, grave. Okay. And on the bottom, disconnect. Okay. There is something here about, let's just have a look. I like that the observation card is facing the spirit throne. That feels significant to me. This woman facing over to this throne. There is something about perhaps us not seeing something, not recognizing something. I know the spirit throne card is our card of, you know, it's opening the gateway here, but it feels significant to me. And I feel like there is a message here about stepping back and observing something. It does talk about this as an act of love card. It's almost like your ancestors or our ancestors are coming in to say that when we step back, we are stepping into the realm of our higher self, and that we are able to be the witness of both others and ourselves, and that this is truly an act of love when we are able to see from a different perspective, and that perhaps we haven't been seeing something about, perhaps about a backstory, or perhaps with disconnect in the grave about something that has closed out. I need to explore this further. This grave and disconnect could be speaking to a disconnect between either us and another person, or maybe a part of ourselves or something that has happened within our own lives. I feel like Spirit is asking us to revisit something that maybe has a backstory that we didn't fully examine. Now, of course, when I mention revisiting something, I'm not asking you to go back to anything toxic or anything that you closed out for your higher good. But this, I feel, when Spirit comes in and talks about disconnect, okay, and a backstory and an act of love, I feel like Spirit is perhaps asking us to revisit parts of ourselves or something that has been put away into a shadow space, or put away and kind of maybe shelved here. Let's ask, let's go into this further. We're not talking about anything that is not wanting to come, not wanting to be explored, not wanting to be seen here. This is an act of love, remember. Let's go into this and ask, what is it that the ancestors are talking about? And I will refer to the ancestors as spirit, because of course they are in spirit. Can we have some more on this, please? I'm going to take that one. This one wants to come too, I feel. For some of you, there is something that was, oh wow, the word just jumped right out there. There was unfinished business with somebody. And even though that chapter closed, it has stayed with you. But there's a backstory, there's something more to it. King of Pentacles, Lady Amherst Pheasant. And I will use the guidebook a bit here with these cards. One, because they're quite new to my collection, but two, because the guidebook is just so rich with information. Temperance, Magpie. King of Pentacles and the Magpie and Temperance. Eight of Swords. There's that Eight of Swords. Okay, so it's keeping us stuck in some way, perhaps, or we're keeping ourselves stuck. The White-breasted Wood Wren. Six of Pentacles, Umbrella Cockatoo. On the bottom, Page of Swords, Scarlet Macaw. All right. Which one is calling to me here? I'm coming here to this backstory, okay, to this Eight of Swords, this white-breasted wood wren. Let's have a look about this bird. And we all know about or most of us know about the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords can be a card of self-imposed restrictions, telling ourselves we can't go there. So perhaps there is something about you telling yourself you can't go to a backstory. You're not going back there. You can't look at it. You can't examine it. This could be to do with you, to do with somebody else, to do with a particular situation. It's closed. It's shut. It's gone to the grave. There's a disconnect from it. Maybe you feel like something is too late. What's the point? What's the point of looking at it? And we will ask, what's the point, for those of you who resonate with that. I feel like your ancestor is coming in to say that there is a point here of observing something. Let's ask about this white-breasted wood wren. Eight of Swords. Oh, wow, I opened the page. Well, it was the second page I went to. The querent is likely suffering a negative mindset and is self-imposing restrictions. Well, we talked about that, but let's go straight to the bird. Okay, so you may have some self-imposed restrictions there. Okay, I want to come right down to the bird. Originally thought to be an entirely separate species, they are all considered to be the same species. Oh, sorry, I've missed a bit. The white-breasted wood wren, native to parts of Central and South America, was the subject of a study to see how their social isolation had affected them and whether their isolation had caused them to develop drastic evolutionary changes. It was a surprise then to the researchers to realize that varieties of wrens are actually the same exact bird, but with different calls, songs, and plumage. Originally thought to be entirely separate species, they are all considered to be the same species. Through various experiments, it was found that despite years of isolation from other wrens, each wood wren's variety had been concurrently evolving with others to create different vocal dialects in their songs. When the researchers presented different wood wren songs to other native wrens, most still responded to these calls, illustrating that these birds are not so different. Like the Eight of Swords, despite getting stuck in a situation and feeling isolated, the white-breasted wood wren knows that one has the tools and internal language necessary to keep life on track. Wow, okay. So interesting. So even though you have perhaps been separate from somebody or separate from some aspect of yourself, maybe you have made some kind of disconnect here, or there's been some kind of disconnect with this grave card, there has still been this development that has been working concurrently with either this other aspect of yourself or alongside somebody else. And so if, let's say, for example, this has been a friendship, the two of you have still been in sync in some way or evolving separately, but there is still this connection where you get each other, or you could still come together and understand each other. And so your backstories may have been connected in some way, and you may have gone on different pathways, but it's almost as if you came back together, there would still be this way of connecting and communicating and understanding each other. The same if this is resonating with you in terms of a part of yourself that you disconnected from. It is like both parts of yourself have been evolving in different ways, but concurrently, if that makes sense. And so you may have disconnected from a part of yourself, but it has still been growing. It has still been there. And maybe you have shut it away, but it has still been growing. So let's say, for example, a part of you in the past was a writer or a creative in some way, and you said, you know what, I'm not going to do that anymore, I'm no good at that, or it's not a skill that I'm going to develop, or somebody told me I wasn't any good at it, or there was a part that you just shut away, or I'm not going to be a person who expresses myself through poetry. I feel like what this is saying, what your ancestors is saying, is that even though that part of yourself may feel like it went to the grave, it never really got shut away. It has still been evolving and developing. And if you were to open up to it again, if you were to reconnect with it, you will find that it has still been growing and evolving and developing in its own way. There is something about it that feels like even though there was a disconnect, you feel like it went to the grave, that isn't truly what's happened here. And there's something about this act of observing, okay, looking, pulling back, like, how do I describe this? Well, we all know what observing is, but what I'm getting is this kind of moving back into this higher self realm. To me, the observing is all about stepping on or sitting on this spirit throne here, moving yourself to your higher self, where you get to see all these parts of yourself. And if it is about a connection, if you are relating to this more in terms of a friendship or a family connection or somebody, like a very 3D situation that you disconnected from, that you will be able to look at this connection from a very different perspective, and you'll be able to see that even though we have had this disconnection and it looks like outwardly the connection disconnected, it went to the grave or the metaphorical grave, or even if literally maybe there has been a disconnect where one person has left their earthly body maybe, okay, and they have passed over, they have crossed over, that the two of you are very much connected still. There is this connection. That could even be what this message is, to say that there is still this beautiful connection between the two of you. I feel like for most of you, this is speaking about either a connection to a part of yourself or a connection to someone in this 3D realm where the two of you have gone on separate pathways. But for one or two of you, you could be relating to this as someone where you felt a connection in a more like losing somebody way. Like that could be how you are resonating with this. I'm dropping cards everywhere. Let me just have a look. Let's move over here and see what we've got with this Six of Pentacles. So I wanted to talk about this beautiful cockatoo card here, and I just have the book in front of me, and I just wanted to talk about a few key facts about this beautiful card here. So it talks about, first of all, let me just have a look. This card being about sharing personal wealth with others, donating to charities, loaning money to close loved ones, but also indicating spiritual and psychological wealth by sharing your personal wisdom and love. It also talks about this being a favourite bird of people that like to keep them as pets, and that sometimes they live for so long that they outlive their owners, but how important their care is because they are such long-lived birds. The thing that I always think about with these birds is that to me, they are a bird that they make themselves heard. Freedom is one of the things I think about when I hear them and I see them, and they just fly across the sky sometimes in big numbers. Like I see a lot of them all at once. And so yeah, generosity is certainly something that comes to mind, and also their vibrant white colour. Like they have this yellow crest on them. So that's my dog coming in. This yellow crest on them, these particular ones, and they can be such a really vibrant white colour. And so I'm just going to shut the door now that she's come in and greeted me. She likes to let me know she's home. Yeah, so the thing about this Six of Pentacles is I feel like your ancestors are saying that there is something really beautiful here to be gained if you choose to re-engage either with this part of yourself or this connection if it has been weighing on you. And I feel for many of you, this closing out has been weighing on you. You have been thinking about this backstory. You have perhaps been observing it. And there is something Spirit is saying about this disconnect that has been always with you, that you've always been thinking about it, whether it's part of yourself that you've been wanting to return to, or just this person's always kind of been there in the background, or you're thinking about them, or you're just thinking about, yeah, they're there, they're a part of me, we're in disconnection, or it's closed out. But there is something that Spirit is saying about, you know what, you can still have that. You too, even though you have walked this different path, still have that, not the same, you're not the same, okay? You maybe aren't the same as you were before. The connection may be different, and you maybe have walked different paths and grown different songs, just like these wrens here, okay, these wood wrens, but you still get each other, you still understand each other, you still can communicate, you still appreciate each other's beautiful song, you're still the same species, you're still the same soul family. This is what I feel Spirit is saying to you. You belong to the same soul family. And this is what why you still feel this call and you still feel this connection. Okay, if it's another person and you still feel those strong ties. Okay, take it only if it resonates with you and if this connection feels like a healthy and beautiful connection to you. Okay, King of Pentacles. That can be about that slow movement, that kind of cautious, and also the temperance, like taking your time. I want to read Magpie here, mainly because I love Magpie. Magpies can be playful. There can be something about playful energy as well coming in here with temperance, okay? You don't need to rush into this. You can just see how it feels, whether this is about opening up to this past energy of the self, whether this is about opening up to this past connection that you had, this friendship, this family connection, whatever this is, just take it slowly, maybe playfully. There can be something about play that's really important here, I feel. Maybe that was the key here. Something about the connection was really playful. Let's have a look. Okay. I think I just love the bird so much, and perhaps there is healing in that too. All right. Yeah, the querent. Okay, so saying that you find inner balance and maintaining a healthy lifestyle, you possess great patience and perseverance, following through with purpose and initiative. In 2008, 5 Eurasian magpies were selected for the Mirrors Self-Reflection Test, which measures an animal's cognition ability to recognize its reflection as itself rather than interpreting the reflection as another animal. Coloured stickers were placed on the throats of the magpie, which were only visible to the bird when viewed in a mirror. When birds with a coloured sticker saw themselves in the mirror, they tried to remove the stickers by scratching their throat, an obvious sign of self-recognition. Knowing oneself is essential to not only setting priorities and a self of purpose, but to peace of mind and contentment. So I feel like there is something here, not just about playfulness, but with that little message there about maybe this time apart, or maybe this time apart from this aspect of yourself has been helpful in your personal growth. Maybe you needed a break if you were really growing in a particular area, expanding in a particular area. Perhaps some of you were spending a lot of time developing your skills on one particular area to the expense of others, and you needed to take a break to move away from that and really grow other parts of yourself. And now you're in a place where you can say, okay, I can come back to this part of myself. I'm thinking of when people really develop their skills and spend extensive amounts of time. Let's say, for example, you're an incredible dancer. I'm just using this as an example. And you spent hours and hours really mastering it, but there wasn't a lot of time to spend maybe developing friendships or developing your writing or developing your work or whatever it was. And a part of you just said, okay, I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to really focus on other parts of my life. And then you felt like it went to the grave. This part of me got lost. A part of me got lost and I disconnected from it. And that's my backstory. And I feel like Spirit is saying it's time to bring it out. It's time to reconnect with it. And so I'm getting these two threads running through here, these two storylines. And perhaps for a few of you, there are literally two storylines here. One where there is a part of you that got shut away, and another where there is a storyline or a connection that got shut away and lost along the line somewhere. And for a few of you, there may even be both, a storyline, a part of you, and a connection. They could even be connected. But what I feel your ancestors are saying is that it's time to make some reconnection with a backstory here. And the way that you do it is to sit on this throne here, okay, like the throne that we've invited them in here, that is where your higher self sits, and to look back and to remember these parts of yourself from a higher perspective, and to recognize that that never really shut down. It never really went away. This part of you that was back there, it's been growing with a different song. It's been growing with a different language, but you still understand each other. The you who you are now and the you who you were then, whether that was you connecting to another person or you dancing to a different song, or you doing a different activity, or you doing an art, or you expressing differently, or you just living somewhere else, feeling like you were someone else, whatever it was that you connect with in this story, you still understand and communicate with who you are in this moment. And so it's bringing that back, like bringing those, what you may see as two threads of yourself, recognizing that they connect and they get each other, and that you can have so much joy in connecting these two spaces together. Let's just see. I want to get another deck. Let me just grab another deck. Hang on a second. Sorry, I had to just think for a minute and just spend a little moment deciding which deck wanted to come over here. Let's have a look. Tell me more about what happens for a collective here when they reconnect with this person or this part of themselves. Tell me more about this. What is the message here? The air, unseen potential, hesitation, and the painter, productivity, creation. Yeah, there's something that with the air, that's like when something's passed on, right? Unseen potential, productivity. There is something perhaps that you are yet to create that is waiting in the background there, the painter. There is something that you're ready to bring to life here. Hesitation, maybe something you've got on hold that's kind of been waiting in the background there, waiting to come to life, to come to fruition. Let me get this other deck out here. I feel like I've got so many decks out on my table. It's like this untapped potential. It's like bringing together these different parts of the self. What have we got? Create space. I love that card. And enlightenment. Let's put it here. So this is about creating space to paint something new into your world. And so even if you are relating to this as a connection, I feel like this opens up a whole new creative vibration into your world. And so it's not just about healing. For some of you, this could be about healing something that has been lingering with you. But there is something about creating space for new things to enter in. This could feel like it's been holding you back for a few of you. Like there could be something about, you know what, it's been on my mind, this connection closing out has been on my mind. But for many of you, I feel like there is this creative potential that's been within you, and you've had a sense that I know there is something I want to do, but I'm just feeling stuck as to how to do it. But it's about tapping into something that you closed the door on you felt like you closed the door on. We've got grave, but I feel like it never really quite closed out. It was always there, and it's been growing under the surface. Okay, growing and singing its own song under the surface. All right. I think that's what I've got for you, collective. I think that is your message from your ancestors, okay? I like the wings on this disconnect. Let's just see if there is one last message. There was some kind of disconnect, but, you know, the disconnect's got wings on it. Let's just have a look. One last message. Let's take that one. Wholesome. I love that word because someone I love very much uses it all the time. Wholesome. Let me just sit with it for a moment. So wholesome makes me think of things that are uncomplicated. Wholesome makes me think of things that are just simple and fun and pure and without agenda. They're just wholesome, good fun. Wholesome and simple and without complexity necessarily, without hidden motive. So something around perhaps looking at things from this higher perspective, from the higher self, will allow you to strip away the complexities of all the stuff that has happened around a particular situation, particularly if this is to do with a connection. If there has been a lot of complexity around it, like, you know, this happened so many years ago, and then they said this, and then I said that, and then they went here, and then I went there, and then this happened, and then that happened. Maybe looking at things in a very simple way. The connection is there, the friendship is there, our lives have gone on different pathways, but what connects us and what is good about this, and how can we just keep this simple? And do we have to have these complex interactions, or how can it just be simple and pure? And how can I keep the purity of what I want in my life, the simple wholesomeness of the people that I want to connect with? How do I connect with them in the ways that I want to connect, that feel pure and wholesome to me? Okay, and the parts of myself that I want to bring in, how do I bring them back in ways that leave behind anything that was muddy, okay? Because maybe there was something about people putting pressure on you to do things in a particular way. Like, okay, well, if you're going to perform something, or if you're going to dance, or if you're going to write music, for example, or if you're going to do this or you're going to do that, you have to do it in a certain way. Or if you're going to go into a certain business, you have to do it in a certain way. There might be other more simple, keep getting the word simple, ways that you can bring this energy back into your world. And so I feel like you're being asked to simplify things and just bring the energy back in a way that feels right for you, whether that is about a connection or a skill or a talent or a part of yourself. Bring it in the way that feels right for you, okay? And recognize that you still recognize the things that energetically match for you, because you can still sing the song when it energetically matches. I hope that makes sense for you, collective. I'm sending you so much love. If it resonates, hit that like button if it does, and let me know what you'd like readings on. If you enjoy these ancestor readings, I will try and do more of them. I feel like your ancestors want to talk to you a whole lot more. I really do. I keep getting this energy coming through about the ancestors. I went to do an angel reading earlier, but the ancestors wanted to talk, so that's what I did. Okay, sending you lots of love. Take care. Bye.